It is 4:45 and we're gotten up. We have to be at the trailhead at 7:30 and we are now getting up to get the kids up, get breakfast, and start making some lunches. I think so.
So the plan was horsepack in the first day, cache part of our food at the first lake, hike up day 2 with lighter packs, spend 3 days up at the high lake, and then spend a couple of days to hike back to the car. Joining us on our crazy adventure was my high school buddy Gene and his family, whom you might remember from our Ross Lake trip. After getting the Riding 101 talk from our outfitter, we set off in 2 groups. So we are on the trail right now. We split up into 2 groups. So Gene and their family are up ahead of us, and then we are with the mules and bringing up the rear. Well, that was interesting. We coming around the corner, and the outfitter or the guide says that it sounds like maybe there's a bear, and I was like, no, maybe there was a bear here, or there was a tree with a scratched out section from bear, but we were around the corner and I see the bear scurry up into the woods, so that was kind of fun. So these giant boulders apparently came down in a big earthquake. Somewhere through these bushes is the lake. After our 9-mile ride in, we finally reached our camp. Riding definitely has advantages, especially at the beginning of a trip when you have the most stuff. But there are some disadvantages too, sore butts being the primary. Once we had some lunch and set up camp, it was time to enjoy the lake.
Wait, this is all whiskey?
This is water. I know.
The other benefit to riding in was that we got to bring in a nice meal for the first night.
Missed out on that car camping trip we did over here. It's 6:36 and the girls are jumping out and ready to go.
What? Wow.
What are we having for breakfast this morning?
Blocks and bagels, some fresh squeezed orange juice, and a little breakfast skillet.
Yum.
With some added hash browns.
Good morning. What's that?
Morning.
What is it?
It's fake egg.
Oh, fake egg.
You said a fake egg. I've never caught.
Is that whole thing yours?
Yeah.
The rest of us have to share another one?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were trying to get a early start today because it's going to get hot and we've got a super high hike today. We're going to do about a couple thousand feet in a couple miles. So we want to get it going early, take your time, but it should be really gorgeous once we get up there. As you can see, It is gorgeous out here today. We're about halfway up the hardest portion of this trail. Got about another hour, probably another 1,200 feet to go. The trail up to the lake was littered with downed trees. I think we counted 42 deadfalls we had to climb over. Well, we're almost to the top of the steep part. We probably have a mile and a half, mile and 3/4 left to go. But it has been so worth it. This isn't really the best view. I'll show you the best view when we get there. But beautiful wildflowers. Everyone's doing an awesome job. We lucked out with overcast weather, and a little bit of rain to keep us cool. And yeah, I can't wait to get there.
It's deceiving. Shoot at the stars that glow and at the ceiling. Oh, do you want it? Do you need it? Can I have it? Do you mean it? Love, 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 love. You worried a lot.
So we've made it to and now comes the fun part of trying to figure out where to make camp. At the end of a long day, it's always like minimize the amount of extra miles that everyone has to carry their pack or backtrack. So I'm gonna scout down here, down at the lake, and see if we can see how many spots are full or what. Having finally set up camp, it was time to break out the fly rod and explore. The lake's water was crystal clear, and it seemed to drop off very quickly. One of the fun things about exploring alpine lakes is that you are never sure what it's going to hold. Maybe it'll hold that 20-inch cutthroat, or maybe it'll be barren. This lake, while holding lots of fish, only seemed to have fish in the 10 to 12-inch range. The fish weren't picky. I found that tying on a simple pheasant-tailed nymph and slowly stripping it in produced quite a few fish. The next day, we decided to do a hike up to a nearby lake. It was amazing to walk through all the fields of wildflowers. One of the cool things about this hike is that the trail opened up onto a giant exposed section of granite. We meandered our way up looking for cairns that marked the way.
Place of my own. I'm tired of the road. I wanna go home. Where is my home?
After we reached the top, we took a swim in the freezing cold waters and then made our way back down.
Wanna go home. Where is my home? Every man needs a place with a little bit of space, a roof and 4 walls for when the rain falls. I wanna put my roots down and take a walk to town.
Once we made it back, it was time to enjoy the freezing cold water.
Woohoo!
Stop
Nice
and
job.
say hello. I've been traveling for so long.
Yeah, you
There must be somewhere I belong, where my day is over and my work is.
While the bugs were almost non-existent at the lower lake, the abundance of marshy land and shallow ponds made the bugs really bad in this upper section. After spending a couple of nights up high, it was time to make our way back down.
What's the neighborhood just north of?
Gonna move into the city, that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna make $1 million and give it all to you. Gonna make $1 million and give it all.
When we reached the bottom lake again, we found a great campsite that had its own hidden beach.
Gonna make $1 million when I get downtown. Gonna make $1 million.
That afternoon was spent relaxing, swimming, and playing cards.
When I get into the city.
There's a mouth penis in there.
The next morning we set out for home. We had a flat 9-mile hike out. But first we had to cross the river.
Take me back to that mountain road, the one that led to the swimming pool. The fish I caught with my line and pole, I let 'em go, I let 'em go. Do you remember when we were small? They couldn't tell us a thing.
As we trudged our way back, I couldn't help but let the journey sink in, and much like my parents had preceded me, I felt a satisfaction having shared these high alpine regions with my kids, to show them the allure of turquoise waters birthed from the waterfalls and ancient glaciers, to see them lose themselves in vast meadows painted in wild flowers as far as the eye could see, and to guide them across the bones of the earth, hoping that it left an imprint on their soul.
Go back. Love that keeps on trying. Love that keeps on trying.
In these reflections, I find solace, hoping that the echoes of this trip will resonate in the hearts of my children, that they too will yearn for their own adventures in the great outdoors, carried forward by the whispers of nature and the call of the wild.
Harder to see my friend.
And a really good burger at the end of the trip.
Not back then. Grandpa died before I was born. go it alone. Along with the sadness her eyes show, with more love than I never knew. I wish you will and me find the kind of love that doesn't mind. As the days and years go by, love that keeps on trying, love that keeps on trying.